So Katie, for kidney patients and actually probably most transplant patients, fluid intake becomes really important, as you get closer to transplant. Can you explain a little bit about how and why that's the case?
Yeah, so some people in the lead up to transplant need to be placed on a fluid restriction. That would be determined by your nephrologist or your kidney specialist doctor. And that may be because your kidneys are not producing enough urine and you're no longer able to get rid of that the fluid that you're consuming. A fluid restriction, the amount can vary. So I would be speaking to your doctor about what your recommended amount of fluid per day is. And then there are others that are told to continue to drink a good amount to make sure those kidneys are well perfused. A fluid restriction is a really difficult one to comply with. In fact, a lot of people say that's the hardest part about the diet. When we talk about your fluid allowance, we're normally talking about all fluids. So not just your water, your tea, your coffee, even milk and cereal, soups, would be also including things like jelly in there. And a lot of people find that can lead to a dry mouth and excessive thirst. There are some tips around that, which you can talk to your doctor or dietitian or pharmacist about. For instance, some people find sour foods like lemon, adding some lemon to your water can help produce saliva, which may help if you're dealing with excessive thirst. And also the strategy of really spreading your fluid intake out over the day can be helpful. So having small sips throughout the day rather than a big glass all at once may help. Even chewing gum can help as well, stop the mouth from getting too dry.
Yeah, and you're right, it's a really tricky part. It's something I struggle with, and it's interesting. Once you're on that restriction level, I remember chips or anything salty was just an absolute disaster. I didn't want to go near it because I was so restricted. I just wanted anything that had some sort of juice or moisture in it. But yeah, you do have to be careful because I remember I was sort of eating a lot of oranges and stuff, and there's one orange can have quite a few milliliters of fluid in it, so it all counts towards your chart. So yeah, you do have to be.
Yeah, so the fruit has about 80 mils on average in it, so it does add up. And you're absolutely right about those high salt foods. They really can increase thirst. So another reason to limit salt if you have kidney disease.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I sort of noticed was avoiding those foods that do, other than just chips and everything, but foods that are going to create that, like soy sauce, for example, that, if you have a lot of soy sauce, you feel super thirsty. So you probably need to avoid a few condiments in that time as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden salt in those foods. It can be really quite surprising if you read the labels of some of those Asian sauces like soy sauce, oyster sauce, fish sauce, and then, as you say, condiments like tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, even mustard. They all can have a lot of hidden sodium in them.